Welcome to Git Solutions. This is Lokesh. So in previous class we have discussed already, that is the differences between amalgamation in the nature of merger and amalgamation in the nature of purchase. So before going to the concept, that is objectives of mergers and acquisition, if you still not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, so please subscribe today only so that you will get my latest videos. See the next concept, that is objectives of mergers and acquisition. So if you don't know the concept, that is merger and acquisition, so please go back and watch all the videos related to merger and acquisition, then come to the objectives of merger and acquisition. So it helpful to better understanding. So first objective, avoid the competition. Yes, of course, when the companies are entered into the merger and acquisition concept, definitely it will be helpful to avoid the competition in the same market or in the different market. Okay, see, for example, assume you are the company and I am also one company. So you are also manufacturing the same type of products and I am also manufacturing the similar type of products. So when both the companies are offering the same product and services to its customers, then both the companies gain the same profit, right? So when both the companies are in the equal strength, then the profit between the two companies will be going to deviated, that is diversify. So when these both company, that is equally strengthened company or top companies will be going to decided to merge together, then ultimately it helpful to gain a competitive advantage, right? So ultimately when the companies, that is the top company or equal strengthened company will be going to decided to merge together, then ultimately it helpful to avoid the competition within the same market, right? So this is the example for this competition avoidance. So that's why the most objective of merger and acquisition is to avoid the competition. Okay. So secondly, the next objective is reduce the cost. How this merger and acquisition will be reduce the cost, in the sense that is through the operational cost and production cost. Yes, definitely when the companies are going to merge together, then it will be helpful to reduce the cost, that is cost per unit. How the cost per unit will be going to reduce? That is through reducing the operational cost, that is movement and shipment cost and production cost. So this ultimately helpful to reducing the cost per unit. Ultimately it is helpful to gain the more profit by the companies. The next objective, to gain financially. Yes, of course the company will be gain the financially, that is through tax advantage and increasing the credit worthiness, that is by increasing the credit worthiness. And when the companies are merged together, then it will be, then the capital structure of these companies will be going to change, that is equity and debt portion. So we know that debt is a cheaper source of finance, it is easily available. So when these top companies will be going to merge together, then the most agencies and most lending companies will be going to lend the money at a lower rate of interest. Okay, so ultimately the companies will be going to gain financially in the form of getting a tax advantage and increasing the credit worthiness and getting a loans at a lower rate of interest. So ultimately this will helpful to achieve the growth of the organization in all the manners, that is reducing the cost per unit and increasing the revenue for its products and services. So ultimately when the profit will be increases and the cost per unit will be going to decrease, then definitely the company will be in the top position, that is safer position. So ultimately it helpful to achieve the growth and objective. So the next objective, diversify the objective. Okay, for example, see, when the company will be going to merge with the other country company, then it is helpful to diversify its activities through worldwide, and also this diversification ultimately helpful to the companies to gain a more profit. So that is the objective of merger and acquisition. Ultimately the merged companies will be going to diversify their activities, thereby it will be gain more profit. And also this merger and acquisition concept, that is when the companies are entered into the merger and acquisition, then definitely it will be going to expand their business operations through merger and acquisition concept, that is worldwide and nook and corner of the world. And also it is ultimately helpful to gain a more and more profit for the survival of the business organization in future. And also it is helpful to the small scale industries, that is and SIC industries, that is when SIC units or SIC business organization will be going to merged with the topmost companies, then ultimately the SIC unit is also rehabilitate, and also it is helpful to gain them more profit and for survival. And one more objective, that is it helpful to acquire the new technologies. That is the major objective of the merger and acquisition, is to adapt the latest technologies which the companies are using advancedly. Okay, so merger and acquisition is also helpful to acquire the new technology and also helpful to adapt the latest technologies which other companies are using in their production process. Okay, next objective, optimum use of resources. So when the company adopt the latest technologies from the other country or other company, then definitely it is helpful to both the companies or merged companies to optimum utilization of the available resources or scarce resources in their production. Thereby it will be reduce the cost per unit to yield the maximum revenue to the company. So ultimately these are the various objectives of merger and acquisition. The next concept is computation of purchase consideration. So before enter into the topic, that is various methods, that is lump sum, net worth, net payment and intrinsic value method. So before going to these concepts, so first of all you have to know what is purchase consideration. See, purchase consideration is nothing but, for example, from starting only I am giving the example, that is A and B company are the transfer company and C is the new company, that is a transferee company. For example, assume A company and there is a B company. So B company acquire the assets or taken over the sum of assets and liabilities from this A company. Okay, for that is for taken over assets and liabilities from A company by the B company will be going to pay some amount for taken over assets and liabilities, right? So that amount will be called as purchase consideration. Okay, so this purchase consideration will be given by the B company by 4 methods. Okay, see, by 4 method means the company will be going to pay the purchase consideration based on any one method, but there are 4 methods to compute the purchase consideration, so that we will discuss in this class. So go to the methods of purchase consideration. Okay, see, under that first one, lump sum method, and second one, net worth or net asset method, and third one, net payment method, and fourth one, intrinsic value method or share exchange method. So in these 4 methods, net asset or net worth method and net payment method and intrinsic value method are the most important methods. Okay, so you have the problems under these methods. Okay, so let's move on to the first topic, that is lump sum method. See, lump sum, the name only indicates lump sum amount, that is lump sum money. Okay, so under this method the transferee company will be going to give the purchase consideration to the transferor company or to the acquired company in the form of lump sum method. Let's see what is lump sum method. See, the purchasing company may agree to pay lump sum amount, that is lump sum, to the vendor company. So vendor company is nothing but transferor company or seller company. Why means because it will be transferring the assets and liabilities to the transferee company. So that's why the companies will be called as transferor company or vendor company. Okay, here the purchasing company will be agreed to pay some lump sum amount to the transferor company or vendor company on account of purchase of its business, because the transferee company or purchasing company acquire the or purchases the assets and liabilities from the transferor company, so that the purchasing company will be going to give some consideration. So that will be in the form of lump sum amount. When the purchasing company or transferee company pay purchase consideration to the transferor company based on some lump sum amount, then it is under lump sum method purchase consideration. Okay, see, for example, see, a purchasing company agreed to take over a business of selling company, which means I have already explained in the example, if A company transfer its assets and liabilities to the B company, then B company becomes the purchasing company and A company becomes the seller company or vendor company. For taken over assets and liabilities by the B company from A company, the B company will be going to some amount, that is some purchase consideration for asset and liability taken over to the A company. Okay, assume here a purchasing company, that is transferee company. In the example, B company agreed to take over a business of A company. Okay, that is selling company for rupees 5 lakhs. So the value of net asset and liabilities are taken over by the B company of A company, the total value of rupees 5 lakhs. So in such cases, the purchase consideration is rupees 5 lakhs. No calculations or no other calculations are needed. Okay, see, with the example only I am going to give a clarity. Here, A company transferring its assets and liabilities to the B company. Okay, so for assets taken over or liabilities taken over by the B company of A company, B company must and should, it will be going to pay some amount for taken over assets and liabilities. So B company will be going to pay based on the agreement, that is 5 lakhs. Then under lump sum method, this 5 lakh is the purchase consideration. So then no need to calculate purchase consideration again. So in this method the 5 lakh is the purchase consideration. Okay, see the next method. See the second method, net worth or net asset method. Okay, see, under this method how the companies will be going to calculate the total purchase consideration. So under this method the purchase consideration is calculated by adding up the values of the various assets taken over by the transferee company or purchasing company, and then deducting therefrom the values of the various liabilities taken over by the purchasing company. That in this see the example, we know that if A company transfer its assets and liabilities to the B company based on the agreement, then definitely B company will be going to take on over some assets and liabilities of A company, right? So under lump sum method, the B company will be paying some lump sum money to the A company for assets and liabilities taken over. So under purchase that is under lump sum method, the purchase consideration will be 5 lakhs. Okay, so no need to calculate again purchase consideration, right? So in this second method, that is under net asset or net worth method, how we are going to calculate the purchase consideration in the sense, see with the example, A company transferring assets and liabilities to the B company. For that, B company will be going to pay some purchase consideration, but under net asset method or net worth method. Okay, so how the purchase consideration will be going to calculate it in the sense, see, B company taken over assets and liabilities, both, right? So in this case, we have to calculate the purchase consideration. So we have to take the values of all assets taken over by the B company. Okay, so we have to take the all values of assets taken over by the B company, and we have to deduct the all the liabilities of A company, which is payment made by the B company. So total values of liabilities na ನಾವು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬರೋ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಬಂದು ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಆರ್ ನೆಟ್ ವರ್ತ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. Okay, so in this method only one thing you have to keep it in mind. So the name only indicates, that is net worth and net asset method. So in this case we have to calculate the purchase consideration based on considering the total value of assets and total value of liabilities taken over by the transferee company of the transferor company. Okay, so either it is a book value or agreed value. So when book value will be considered, when in the problem they have specified. Okay, so ಯಾವಾಗ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಗೆ ಆ ಅಸೆಟ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ, ಆಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಬುಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಫ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಅಗ್ರೀಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವೈಲ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, definitely I am going to explain step by step how to calculate the purchase consideration under various methods. Okay, see, in this case we have to calculate the purchase consideration by taking the all values of assets, and also we have to deduct the all liabilities taken over by the purchasing company or transferee company from the transferor company or vendor company or seller company. Okay, see, under this method, the values of total assets and liabilities for the purpose of calculating the purchase consideration are those which are agreed or agreement between the purchasing company and seller company or vendor firm. Okay, so if the vendor firm sell its assets and liabilities to the transferee company at book value, so we have to consider the book value in the calculation of purchase consideration. If else, we have to consider the agreed values in the calculation of purchase consideration. That's it. Okay, see, the values of the assets and liabilities for the purpose of calculating the purchase consideration are agreed between the purchasing company and the seller firm. Okay, and not the values at which the various assets and liabilities appear in the balance sheet. So balance sheet in the sense book value. Okay, so if they specify only, if in the problem they have specified to take over the assets and liabilities at a book value, then we have to consider the book value. If not, we have to consider the agreed values. Okay, so this is the major concept in this net asset method or net worth method. So keep it in mind. See, this is the formula or format to compute the net asset or purchase consideration under net asset or net worth method. So we have to take all the values or agreed values of asset taken over by the transferee company, and we have to deduct all the agreed values of the liabilities taken over. So after deducting the all agreed values of the liabilities from the asset taken over, then we will get a total net asset. So this will be called as purchase consideration. Okay. So in order to calculate this purchase consideration, you have to keep it in mind the sum of the important points. Okay. So the following relevant points are to be noted while ascertaining the purchase consideration or purchase price under net asset method or net worth method. Okay. See the first important note. If the transferee company or purchasing company agrees to take over all the assets of the transferor company, it would mean inclusive of cash or bank balances. Okay. See this point. If the transferee company, so which is, so ultimately B is purchasing the assets and liabilities from the A company, so then B becomes transferee company and A becomes transferor company. Okay. So when B company purchasing the assets and liabilities from the A company, so in the problem they have specified, that is B company taken over all assets and liabilities from A company, means it also, that is the assets includes cash and bank balances. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಿ ಕ್ಯಾಶು ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಏನು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಬಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ಆಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶು ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟು. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಸೊ how in the sense, see for example B company, that is transferee company, taken over all assets and liabilities of B company except cash and bank balances. ಆಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ mentioned about the cash and bank balances, then we have to assume the transferee company will be going to taken over all assets and liabilities including cash and bank balance anta assumption ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Okay, so that is the point here. See once again, if the transferee company or purchasing company agrees to take over all the assets of the transferor company, it would mean inclusive of cash and bank balances. That is, we have to assume including cash and bank balances, the transferee company taken over all the assets of the transferor company anta assumption ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Okay, so second important note, that is the term all assets however does not include the fictitious assets. So in first point ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ, so if the company taken over all assets means we have to assume including cash and bank balances, but that assets does not include the fictitious assets. So what is this fictitious assets? So these fictitious assets are created by the accounting entry, that is a temporary basis. So it includes under assets in the balance sheet. So let's see what are the fictitious assets. Okay, see like debit balance of the profit and loss account. So debit side ಏನಾದರೂ profit and loss account ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ fictitious assets, that is a temporary basis ಮೇಲೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. So that's why it is called as fictitious assets ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. And also preliminary expenses account and discount and other expenses on issue of shares and debentures and advertising expenses. So these are all the expenses or assets which is created on temporary basis that mentioned and recorded in the balance sheet. So ಆ fictitious assets ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಉಳಿದಿರೋ assets ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು assumption ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, the term all assets does not include the fictitious assets. So, because Y means it is created temporary basis. So, that's why we have to exclude all the fictitious assets while calculating the purchase consideration under net asset method or net worth method. That is, we have to exclude the debit balance of the profit and loss account and preliminary expenses account and discount and other expenses on issue of shares and debentures and advertisement expenses account and other fictitious assets. So, if they have given the fictitious assets in the balance sheet, we have to ignore. So, we have to exclude that fictitious assets in calculating the purchase consideration. But we have to assume if they specified in the problem the transferee company taken over all assets and liability means we have to assume including cash and bank balances. So, cash and bank balances ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೆ ಹೊರತು ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ including cash and bank balances, the transferee company or purchasing company will be taken over the all assets and liabilities of the transferor company. Okay, see the next point. Any specific asset not taken over by the transferee company should be ignored while computing the purchase price or purchase consideration. That means if they specified in the problem, if any asset because of any environmental factor or any other reasons, the transferee company not taken over any assets from the transferor company means we have to ignore that assets while calculating the purchase consideration. So, that is the point. Any specific asset not taken over by the purchasing company or transferee company should be ignored while computing the purchase consideration. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಸೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ then we have to ignore that asset in calculating the purchase consideration. That's it. Okay, see the next point. If there is any goodwill or prepaid expenses, the same are to be included in the asset taken over unless otherwise stated. Means, see, regarding goodwill and prepaid expenses, the same are to be included in the asset taken over unless otherwise stated. That means, if there is any goodwill and prepaid expenses are recorded in the balance sheet, if the company specifies that all the assets and liabilities are taken over by the transferee company means we have to assume goodwill and prepaid expenses are also taken over by the transferee company of the transferor company unless it otherwise stated. Means, so goodwill ಮತ್ತೆ prepaid expenses balance sheet ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಗ್ರೀಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ goodwill prepaid expenses ಏನಾದ್ರು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು goodwill and also prepaid expenses ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅಂಡ್ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರೀಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಈ ಗುಡ್ವಿಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರೀಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಇಗ್ನೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈ ಫೆಲ್ಸ್ including goodwill and prepaid expenses, the company, that is transferee company, will be going to taken over all assets and liabilities. So that we should consider in the calculation of purchase consideration unless otherwise stated. Okay, see the next condition. The term liability will always signifies all the liabilities to the third parties. Yes, of course. So the liability means we have to pay something to some other persons, right? So that is here the term liability will always signifies all the liabilities to the third parties. So trade liabilities are those incurred for the purchase of goods such as trade creditors or bills payable. Okay, see, liabilities will be must and should be taken over by the transferee company, because while acquiring the assets and liabilities from the transferor company by the transferee company, on behalf of the transferor company, the transferee company will be going to pay the liabilities to the respective persons or to the shareholders. So that's why the transferee company will be going to taken over all the liabilities of the transferor company on behalf of the payment. Okay, so on behalf of the transferor company for payment to the shareholders of the transferor company. So that's why here telling that the term liability is always signifies that liability is payment to the third parties. Therefore, all the trade liabilities are those incurred for the purchase of the goods such as trade creditors or bills payables. So liabilities ಏನೇರ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, next see the other liabilities. So like bank overdraft and tax payable and outstanding expenses are not a part of trade liabilities. So except these bank overdraft and tax payables and outstanding expenses are not included in those liabilities. So trade creditors and bills payable is current liability, right? So ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಓವರ್ ಡ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇಯಬಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ, ಈವನ್ ದೋ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದರ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರಿಂಗ್ as a part of liability to calculate the purchase consideration under net asset or net worth method. So that you have to keep it in mind. If you confirm with these conditions, definitely it will be very easy to calculate the purchase consideration under net asset method or net worth method. Okay, so keep observe all the points and conditions, and you have to know all the conditions to calculate the purchase consideration under net asset or net worth method. See the last condition, the liabilities do not include the accumulated or undistributed profits like general reserve. So these are the undistributed profits to the shareholders, right? See general reserve and security premium and workman accident fund and insurance fund and capital reserve and dividend equalization funds. So these are the accumulated profits and undistributed profits, so which we have to distribute in future to the shareholders, but it is not distributed. That's why it is called as undistributed profits. If there is any undistributed profits or accumulated profits like general reserve and security premium and workman compensation, that is workman's accident fund and insurance fund and capital reserves and dividend equalization fund, that we should not consider for the calculation of purchase consideration. Okay, so these are the important points under net asset method or net worth method. So keep it in mind all the points, then it will be easy to calculate the purchase consideration under net asset method or net worth method. So it is very important for your 6 marks question. Okay, so in these 4 methods we have already discussed the lump sum method and net worth or net asset method. So now in this session we are going to discuss the next method, that is net payment method. Let's see how under net payment method the companies will be going to calculate the purchase consideration. So in lump sum method, the company, that is transferee company, will be going to pay the purchase consideration to the transferor company for taken over assets and liabilities based on some lump sum money or some lump sum amount. So similarly, in case of net asset method or net worth method, the company, that is transferee company, will be going to pay the purchase consideration to the transferor company. That purchase consideration will be calculated based on the total value of net asset taken over, that is agreed value of net asset taken over, and from that value we have to deduct the agreed value of total liabilities taken over, so that we will get the total net asset or purchase consideration under net asset method or net worth method. Okay, see this is a third method, so in which the companies will be going to pay the purchase consideration in the form of cash or shares. That shares includes either equity shares or preference shares, okay, or debentures. Let's see, under this net payment method, the purchasing company, that is transferee company, will be going to specify the amount, that is purchase consideration, payable to the transferor company or selling company in the form of cash or shares or debentures. Okay, so under lump sum method ಲಂಸಮ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಫಾರ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ನೆಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಟ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ನೆಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ವೆನ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪೇ ದಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ or shares. So shares includes equity shares or preference shares and debentures. So ee form alli enadru purchase consideration ಪರ್ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ನೆಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. Because in this method the transferee company will be going to make settlement, that is purchase consideration, through paying the cash or shares and debentures. Okay, so that's why we have to calculate the purchase consideration under net payment method based on shares and debentures and cash. So while calculating the purchase consideration under net payment method, we have to keep it in mind the certain important points. Let's see what are those points. See, the following points are to be noted while ascertaining or calculating the purchase price under net payment method. So under this first important note, that is the assets and liabilities taken over by the transferee company and the values at which they are taken over are not relevant to compute the purchase consideration. See, the first point tells that when the assets and liabilities are taken over by the transferee company of the transferor company, so that assets and liabilities taken over by the transferee company or purchasing company, so the values which they are taken over are not relevant to compute the and not relevant to compute the purchase consideration by the transferee company, because it is not a net asset method or net worth method. Okay, so in net worth method or net asset method we are going to calculate the purchase consideration based on the assets and liabilities taken over by the transferee company, right? So on that method we are considering the total value of assets and liabilities, but in this method we are going to consider only the value of shares and debentures and cash, in which the transferee company will be going to pay to the transferor company in the form of purchase consideration. That is, purchase consideration will be going to pay by the transferee company to the transfer company, so based on equity shares or debentures or preference shares or cash. So ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೆಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಓವರ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡರ್ net worth or net asset method. Okay, so if they specified to calculate the net purchase consideration under net payment method, we have to ignore the total value of assets and liabilities taken over by the transferee company. So if they specified to calculate the purchase consideration under net asset method, then we have to consider the total agreed value of assets and liabilities taken over by the transferee company. That's it. Okay, so see the first point again I am going to explain. The assets and liabilities taken over by the purchasing company or transferee company and the values of total assets and liabilities taken over by the transferee company, which are not relevant to compute the purchase consideration or purchase price by the transferee company. Okay, so that is the first point. So secondly, all the payments agreed upon should be added, whether it is for equity shareholders or preference shareholders. Okay, so if any payments are related to the equity shareholders or preference shareholders or debenture holders, so that amount we have to consider in calculating the purchase consideration, because this is the net payment method but not a net asset method. Okay, that's why if any payments, so if any amount paid by the transferee company to the shareholders or debenture holders or preferential shareholders, so that amount also we have to take into consideration while calculating the purchase consideration. Okay, because shares and debentures are related to the shareholders and debenture holders, so that's why in net payment method we have to consider that amount, that is the money or any payment related to the shareholders or preference shareholders. Okay, so the next point, if any liability is taken over by the purchasing company to be discharged later on, such amount should not be deducted or added while computing the purchase consideration. See, the third point says that if any amount that is related to liability, so that liability is taken over by the purchasing company or transferee company to discharge laterly to the shareholders of the transferor company. So in that situation, the amount should not be deducted or added while computing the purchase consideration. Means, so liabilities ಏನಾದರೂ ಪರ್ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಲೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಈ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಲೇಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ವೈಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಂತ ಈ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸಿ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ while calculating the problem or purchase consideration. Okay, so don't worry about that, but you have to read all the conditions, you have to keep it in mind. Okay, so then it is very easy to calculate the purchase consideration in each steps. Okay, see, next point, when the liabilities are taken over by the transferee company, they are neither added or deducted while computing the consideration. So if any liabilities are not taken over by the transferee company, so they will specify in the problem itself. Okay, so if any liabilities are not taken over by the transferee company, they definitely give the informations related to the liabilities. Okay, so when these type of liabilities are not taken over by the transferee company, so on that situations we are not going to consider that liability while calculating the purchase considerations. So liabilities ಏನಾದರೂ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ, ಆ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ನ ನಾವು ತಗೋಬಾರ್ದು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಇಫ್ ಎನಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಟು ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ third party or any other party on behalf of the transferor company are to be ignored. Okay, so if any payments are made by the transferee company to the third party or any other party on behalf of the transferor company, so transferor company ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾರಿಗೋ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಹತ್ರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ನ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸೊ ನಾನೇ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ನೀವೇನು ಕೊಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳೋ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ consider in calculating the purchase consideration. So that is, if any payments are made by the transferee company or purchasing company to the third party on behalf of the transferor company, so that amount we should not consider in calculating the purchase consideration. So we have to ignore that amount, so which is paid by the transferee company to the third party on behalf of the transferor company. Okay, so this is the net payment method. Okay, see, intrinsic value method is also called as share exchange method, because in this intrinsic value method the companies will be going to exchange the shares of the different companies, that is transfer company, that is the shares will be exchanged between the transfer company and transferee company shareholders. Okay, see, the first condition, under this method the total net value of asset is calculated according to net asset method. Okay, so first we have to calculate the total value of net asset based on net asset method, that is second method. Okay, and the value, that is the divided by the value of one shares of the transferee company, which gives the total number of shares to be received by the shareholders of the transfer company from the transferee company. So when the number of shares to be received by the transfer company is known, then it is divided by the existing shares of the transfer company, and thus the ratio of shares can be found out. Okay, so I think this concept will be, it is better to explain through video. See the video. See, the first condition under intrinsic value method. Okay, see, under intrinsic value method, first we have to calculate the net value of asset according to net asset method or net worth method. Okay, so net asset method or net worth method, by using this method we have to calculate the first purchase consideration or total net value of asset. Let's see how to. So I was already explained this net asset method or net worth method. So in this net worth method, how to calculate the total net value of asset or purchase consideration, that is by taking agreed values of total assets, right? So we have to consider first all agreed values of total assets taken over by the transferee company. Then we have to deduct, that is less agreed values of total liabilities taken over by the transferee company. So after deducting this total agreed value of total liabilities from total agreed values of total assets, assume for example you will get ₹20. Okay, so this is only example. Assume after deducting total value of liabilities from total value of assets, you will get ₹20. So this balance will be called as purchase consideration or total net value of asset. Now we have satisfied the first condition under intrinsic value method. See, first we have to calculate the total value of net asset according to the net asset method or net worth method. That is, we have already calculated the total value of net asset under net asset method or net worth method. Okay, see, next it is then the value. So this value, after calculating the total value of net asset, so this value is divided by the value of one share of the transferee company. Okay, so before going to the second condition, first of all you have to know, see for example there is a company and there is a B company. Okay, so A company is transferring assets and liabilities to the B company. Okay, therefore B company is going to pay purchase consideration. So purchase consideration, assume in this method, that is in this situation, the B company will be going to pay purchase consideration to the A company based on intrinsic value method. Okay, so intrinsic value method in the sense, see, when A company transfers assets and liabilities to the B company, then A company becomes transferor company, so that you know, and B company becomes transferee company, right? Assume totally A company and B company has number of shares, total 5 shares. Okay, and B company also have 5 shares. Okay, and assume in A company the value of one share rupees 10 per share. Okay, and in B company, that is in transferee company, the value of one share is ₹5 per share. Okay, see, after calculating total value of net asset under net asset method, that is total value of net asset under net asset method or net worth method, now you have to divide this total value of net asset by the value of one share of the transferee company. So what is the value of one share of the transferee company? See the example. So which is the transferee company? So B is the transferee company. So in this B company, that is in this transferee company, so what is the value of one share? So ultimately 5 is the value of one share, right? So what we have to do in the sense, so after calculating the total value of net asset, then we have to divide it by the value of one share of the transferee company. ಈ 20 rupees na value of one share of the transferee company ಇಂದ divide ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So after dividing the value of one share of the transferee company, what you will get? That is, you will get 4. Okay, see the next statement. So after dividing the total value of net asset by the value of one share of the transferee company, which ultimately gives the total number of shares to be received by the shareholders of the transferor company from transferee company. Okay, see, after calculating the total value of net asset, then the total net asset value is divided by the value of one share of the transferee company. Okay, so after this calculation, you will get this 4. Okay, so what is this 4? So ultimately this calculation will be helpful to calculate the number of shares, so which gives the total number of shares. Then this 4 is nothing but the number of shares paid by the transferee company to the transferor company shareholders. Okay, so after dividing this 20 by the value of one share of the transferee company, you will get 4. So ultimately this calculation helpful to calculate the number of shares to be received by the transferor company shareholders, that is paid by the transferee company in the form of purchase consideration. But one thing you have to keep it in mind, in this intrinsic value method, the purchasing company, that is transferee company, will not going to give any cash. Okay, so cash in the form of equity shares, or cash in the form of preference shares, or cash in the form of debentures, but only in this intrinsic value method, exchange the share of transferor company with the share of transferee company. That's it. It will not going to pay any cash. Okay, see, after finding out the number of shares, so this you know that this calculation ultimately helpful to calculate the total number of shares received by the transferor company shareholders, that is paid by the transferee company. So after calculating the number of shares, see the next statement. What is that? When number of shares to be received by the transferor company shareholders is known, so this 4 shares is given by the transferee company to the transferor company, right? So ultimately the transferor company shareholders are receiving the 4 number of shares. So that is the thing. When the number of shares to be received by the transferor company is known, we are calculated the 4 number of shares. After that is, then it is divided by the existing shares of the transferor company. Now we have already calculated the 4 number of shares are received by the transferor company shareholders, that is paid by the transferee company. Then what they are telling, so after calculating the, or after known the transferor company, that is the number of shares received by the transferor company is known, then we have to divide this number of shares by the existing shares of the transferor company. So we have to divide this number of shares, okay, from the existing shares of the transferor company. So transferor company shares. So see, what is the existing shares of the transferor company? So which is the transferor company? So A is the transferor company, because it will be going to transfer the assets and liabilities to the B company. So therefore B company is called as transferee company and A company will be called as transferor company. So in A company the existing shares are 5 shares. In B company existing shares are also 5 shares. So after calculating this 4 shares, now we have to divide this 4 shares by the existing shares of the transferor company. So what is the existing share? That is 5. Okay, so after dividing the 4 shares by the existing shares of the transferor company, and thus the ratio of shares can be found out. So based on this we have to calculate the ratio. Okay, likewise we have to calculate the ratio of exchanges between the transferor company and transferee company under intrinsic value method. So because of exchanging the shares between the transferor company and transferee company, this intrinsic value method is also called as share exchange method or share proportionate method, are also called as intrinsic value method. Okay, see the example. For example, see, if suppose in exchange of 50 shares of the transferor company, 100 shares of the transferee company is available, then every 1 share in the transferor company and 2 shares of the transferee company is available. So it is nothing but ratio between the transferor company and the transferee company. So which means assume the transferor company will be going to issue 50 shares to the transferee company, so that the transferee company will be going to issue 100 shares. Here 50 and 100, the ratio between the transfer company and the transferee company, that is the exchange ratio 1:2, because when the transferor company will be gives 50 shares to the transferee company, so that the transferee company will be going to give 100 shares, then the ratio between the two companies is nothing but 1:2. Okay, so therefore the ratio is 1:2. Therefore here the companies, that is the transferor company and the transferee company, instead of paying the cash, that is in the form of purchase consideration, that purchase consideration will be paid through, that is exchanging through the shares between the transfer company and transferee company. So this is the best example for intrinsic value method, that is how the companies will be going to exchange the shares with another. Okay, so in this example the transfer company issuing 50 shares to the transferee company and the transferee company issuing 100 shares. Therefore the ratio of exchange between these two companies is 1:2. Okay, so therefore this intrinsic value method is also called as share proportion method or share exchange method, or it is also called as intrinsic value method. And one more thing you have to keep it in mind. Okay, so while issuing these shares by the transferee company to the shareholders of the transferor company, sometimes it is not possible to find out the whole number of shares, that is under intrinsic value. So after knowing the ratio of exchange between the transferor company and transferee company, we get for example 4.12 is the intrinsic value. Okay, so in this situation, see, sometimes it is not possible to find out the whole number of shares as a round figure. So in case of any fractions of shares, take this example, if in case of any fractions of shares so arrived at, in the absence of any agreement, it is always settled in cash at market value, that is at present market value. So if in case the intrinsic value is like a fractional value, then this 0.12 will be going to settled by the transferee company in the form of cash, and 4 will be settled through the exchanging the shares. Okay, so fractional shares will be going to settled through the cash. So this is 2 marks, very important concept, and also it is helpful to your UGC NTA exams. That is how the companies are going to settle the fractional shares, means through in the form of cash. That's it. Okay, so very important concept it is. And thanks for watching. These are the 4 methods to calculate the purchase consideration. First one, lump sum method, and second one, net asset method or net worth method, that is based on net asset and net liabilities, and that is the agreed net assets and agreed net liabilities. And third one, net payment method, it is based on equity, preference and dividend and cash. Next, last method, intrinsic value method. So it is completely based on exchanging the shares between the transferor and transferee company. Okay, so thanks for watching.